Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. We are conducting Hadith Research, and today the topic is distribution of Hadith based on the quality of evidence. That how to confirm that how much authentic this Hadith report is available. So this terminology, you should know it. You know that our method is that we'll have to check that the content is reliable, and which is called dirayat, and second is virayat method, that the name of chain of narrators, whether all the chain of narrators are reliable persons or not. So the best quality of evidence about any history, you can get it. It's called the quality, which means 100% great quality, is that at the time of situation when the Prophet Muhammad, may Allah bless him, was observed by thousands companions, then all these companions reported to their students. They reported to the next generations in millions persons. And from that time to today, just as an example is that Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentioned the Quran. He just explained to all the companions, and he write in the book, and its copies were written by all the companions, and with the thousands of these books from the time of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam to today, this is the same. So it means that this is the 100% best quality of this, and this is in Arabic, it's called tawatur. Tawatur means frequent in each generation of persons, they agreed on these things. So this means that frequent means that in at the time what happens, that time to today, there is no difference. So this is the best quality of historical evidence. And no persons who are able to conduct an error or fraud was not possible in that. I can share some examples in historical evidence. For example, in 2001, this happened, 9/11. So at the time of 9/11 to today, there is no difference. All the persons of all the countries and all the books, all the articles in different types of magazines, everywhere has the same scenario happen. Similarly, we give some example. This partition of India and Pakistan, this happened at 1947. See, there is no difference. All the persons of other countries, they agreed. United States independence happened at 1776. There is no difference. Victory of Iraq by Mongol Empire, this happened at 1258 C. So you will not find any differences. So this is 100% authentic report. Prophethood of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam happened at 609 to 632 CE period, and there is no difference. All persons, all Muslims at least, agreed, and non-Muslim scholars as well understand it. They agreed. Similarly, prophethood of Prophet Jesus alayhi salam, his time was at 1 to 30 CE period. Then prophethood of Prophet Moses, may Allah bless him, around 1200 BC period when Pharaoh was drowned. And there is no difference in persons, and all the persons of other countries, everyone agrees. So this is called tawatur, which means that the time, whatever happened at that time to all the generations going to today, there is no difference. So this is the best quality of historical evidence. So another type of hadith or historical evidence, it is called khabre wahid. Khabre wahid means that one or few persons at different generations that happen. So this quality may be good or bad. So that's why we can say its ranking may be from 1 to 90%. 1% means that the quality is poor, and 90% means that this is very good quality. And above that, from 90% to above, it will be then the called tawatur. Tawatur means that no difference is there. So then it go to 100%. Otherwise you can call it at 1 to 90% or maybe 95%, like this. So majority of hadith reports are mostly recorded by one or few persons only. Examples I can share. You can see the names that Abu Dawud reported that he got from Musaddad and Abu Bakr ibn Shiba. Then they got from Yahya, then Ubaidullah, then he got from Walid, then he got from Yunus, then he got from Abdullah ibn Amr radiallahu anhu, who was companions, may Allah please with him. And Abdullah ibn Amr reported that Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said this. So you can see that in different generations, different persons are there. So you'll have to check about each person whether this person was reliable or not, and then you'll have to check that whatever the report is correct or some error might be there. So that's why quality of evidence you'll have to calculate. You can say, okay, this is 1 to 90%. It may be a mistake, error, or a person may conduct a spam due to get some financial benefit or spreading sectarianism like this. This may happen as a propaganda. This may happen. So that's why we'll have to check it. So the difference between tawatur means 100%. Khabr wahid will be from 1 to 90%, and its ranking you can mention based on your research. For Khabr Wahid, you need to conduct a research based on the quality of evidence. And evidence you'll have to check it the quality of content and attributes of the narrators, whether the narrator persons are authentic, reliable persons or not. So must condition of unlimited evidence will be there. Why is frequent evidence? At the source, large number of persons report from source to next generations. Then the same happen in each generation, and it's going to today. So then this is the best quality of history. Hadith researchers assume that at least 10 persons in each generation must be there, so we can confirm that such quality is good. Different persons to each generation don't a part of same gang or sect, which means that if 5 or 10 persons, if they are not related to each other, they are not as a part of a sect or gang, so then it's okay, then its quality is good. But if these persons, all of them are part of some political party, so then this information will not become reliable, not authentic. Simply means in each generation, a lot of persons of different cities and they are not connected with each other, then it means that the quality is good. But if all the persons are from the same city, then quality will be relatively not good. Each person said, I observed, or I listened, or I taught. Like this, so these words mention that this person has get the very authentic method. So the result of tawatur means it is not possible that all persons agreed on lying or fraud. Information cannot happen. That's why its quality is 100%. Tawatur means it is best quality of history. Frequent report with consensus. All human persons agreed that sun and moon exist. So like this, like as I mentioned example that 9/11 happened, or freedom of United States happened. So there is no differences. So this is called that this is very authentic report. Now the types of quality of frequent evidence, this is important. Consensus report is the same sentences. You can see it, for example, Allah's Prophet, may Allah bless him, said, if a person attribute a spam report to me, then he or she should get a result to enter in the hell. This is as an example that around 70 companions reported the same report. Then in the next generation, 100 to 1 million persons report the same and there is no differences. So it means that this is very best quality of frequent evidence. This is called tawatur. Similar example is the last lecture of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam at the sermon of pilgrim at 10 Hijri 632 C, that 125,000 companions exist there, and they all of them informed the same lecture to their tribes. So around 1 million persons or more than that in the next generations that happen. And in all the books of Hadith, everywhere the same lecture is mentioned. This is an example. Consensus report is the meaning of report that sentences might be different, but the meaning is the same. Examples: reports when the Prophet, may Allah bless him, requested from God. So usually these examples you will find the same sentences you can get in different books. So these are just examples of the best quality of evidence. Example of books of consensus reports some scholars have tried. You can see this book of Al-Azhar, Al-Mutanasara Fil Akhbar, Al-Mutasara. This is Jaliluddin Sayuti. His death happened at 1505 C, and he wrote a lot whatever this consensus reports he have prepared his book. Qataf al-Azhar, Jaliluddin Suyuti, the same scholar. Then Nazam al-Mutanazir Minal Hadith al-Mutawatir, Muhammad ibn Ja'far. His death happened at 1927 C in Morocco. He has also, this is just as an examples of these consensus reports are mentioned. So you can say that these books are very best quality, authentic reports. Then we come to Khabr Wahid, means that the news reported by a few persons. Its definition is that Khabr Wahid literally means that the news reports of one person, but the terminology means that few persons. Few persons may be two persons or three or one person, whatever they are, but they are not enough number of persons that we can say that this become a consensus. No. So this is the terminology. The result of Khabr Wahid means that you need to conduct research. All the content of report plus all the narrators are reliable or not, you have to check it. And also the content you have to check based on the Quran and match with the authentic Hadith reports, and then you can mention it whether this is authentic or not. Types of Khabr Wahid. Mashhur news means, mashhur means famous news, which means at least three persons, but the consensus does not happen. Consensus is not there, but at least three persons report the same. Aziz news means precious news which are reported by a few persons, the same report by some other persons. So first chain of narrators strengthen due to second chain of narrators. Okay, but the overall you can see that this is authentic report. Gharib news means unique news, which means that only one person explain it but no other person knows about it. So this is called Gharib, and these are usually you can consider unauthentic. But if you find that this one person is a reliable person and whatever the content is reliable, logical and match with the Quran, then it's okay. You will say that this is authentic. Otherwise, mostly this happen in unauthentic reports. Now you can see the types of Hadith reports. If you can see on the left side, reliability of Hadith reports. In the red color you will say these are the called Mardud. Mardud means unacceptable. This is spam, fraud, rejected reports. And in the green color you can see it. This is called Maqbool, acceptable, which means after the research this is okay. But how much this acceptable? In blue color it is Sahih. Sahih means reliable information, which means 80 to 90% it's good. Then you can say Lughaira, which means acceptable due to other hadith, which means that this is not very authentic but the same is available with the other sources, so it's okay. And another type is lazatihi, which means by default it's okay. And the other type is Hasan. Hasan means fair information, which may be 60 to 80%, or you can say 50 to 80%, whatever you want to calculate. On the right side, you can say these hadith reports may be classification based on number of narrators. Mutawatir means that consensus of all persons in all generations. So it means 100% quality is the best. Then khabar wahid means few narrators. Then you'll have to check it. Famous, news, aziz, or unique, whatever it is. Famous means that this is more reliable. Aziz means that's okay. But unique or it may be unauthentic. So you'll have to check it. You have to memorize about this in the just 2-3 lectures I've mentioned, that this is the website hadith.islam-db.com. First you have to install Arabic keyboard, and then you'll have to open this website, and in the search then you must know especially some unique keyword about that hadith, especially the name of the topic, and then the topic you will search, and on the same topic you can find a lot of reports written in different books. You can find it. Then you can, if you will click on Iqra ul Hadith, Iqra means you will click, it will open, and all whatever is mentioned in that, it is available. And then you'll have to mention that whether the narrators, they are reliable persons or not, and you have to mention that whether whatever the content, whether it is logical or not. So you have to check it. For example, I have here done this Al-Mahdi. Al-Mahdi is very this keyword because about it Muslims scholars have different opinions about it. So that's why Al-Mahdi, I searched it, so different books I got these reports. So then based on that I can conduct research. Further I will show you in further lectures that what was the result. But right now you can just try it. This is the objective. Mashhur, famous reports means mashhur. The word mashhur in Arabic means this is famous, which is usually called at least 3 persons must be there. Then you will call it that this is famous. Example report is that the Prophet, may Allah bless him, said, God does not delete knowledge of all the persons, but God gives depth to all the scholars. As a result of that, no reliable scholar remain in the nation. Then people ask questions from their unreliable leaders who give wrong answers to them, and they become misled. This is the book of Bukhari and Muslim, the most authentic books of Hadith, and many others. You can find it the same. So this is an example of a mashhur, which is the famous report. And logically you can think it that yes, any nations, if all the scholars got that, so then people will ask from unreliable person, and as a result of that it result in confusion. Simply means, so it's very logical. When Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said this, the result of famous reports, such reports might be famous reports, but it may become a reliable or an unreliable report. It may be happen. In Bukhari or Muslim, no problem, but in some other books, you'll have to check it. Unreliable famous reports means many persons in a generation concepts does not match with the Quran or authentic Hadith reports, or it is unreliable narrator, person might be there, so you can find it that there. So these very famous Hadith books, you can find it. I have mentioned here the name of the books in Arabic. If you want to search it, and you can download it. If otherwise, it will be difficult for you if you don't know Arabic language. Aziz. Aziz news means that the chain of narrators is weak due to less number of persons. But the same report by some other chain of narrators may happen. So first chain of narrators strengthened due to second chain of narrators. This may happen. So if you find the same report from different chain of narrators, different persons, so then okay, it we can make a result that this is okay. This is more reliable. Aziz. Such reports are mostly reliable, but it might be unreliable because you may find that all the chain of narrators, they are unreliable persons. This may happen. Some gharib news are also there, which are called unique reports, which means that only one person only mentioned it. So you'll have to check it whether it is reliable or unreliable, and the topic, the content is reliable, and the persons, narrators are reliable persons or not. You'll have to check it. Some famous books are Gharaib al-Malik, al-Fuqh, al-Afrad, as-Sunan, ati ilti tafard, bikulli sunnah, minha ahlu balada. These are the scholars who have wrote books on unique books. So this is just the introduction about it. So whatever questions, you can further discuss it in the emails. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.